narrated by Hughes. Brandon wasn't the biggest dragon at dragon school, but he was the bossiest. He loved telling his friends what to do. One day, Brandon discovered something exciting. The Dragon Skills contest is tomorrow, he told his friends. There are prizes for flying, roaring, and fire breathing. Yippee, said Jasmine. I love flying. Let's practice. Oh, yes, agreed Noah and Ruby. The three young dragons flew up towards the clouds. They twirled and they swooped. Jasmine even looped the loop. Come and join us, Brandon, she called as she hovered overhead. But Brandon was frowning. Stop! He shouted bossily, zooming up in front of them. Your flying is all wrong. You're not doing it properly. Follow me. So the other three dragons stopped twirling and swooping and loop-de-looping and followed Brandon. Brandon flew in straight lines, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This isn't much fun, said Jasmine. I'd rather practice roaring, said Noah. So would I, agreed Ruby. Noah flew down to the ground and took a deep breath. Roar! He roared as loudly as he could. Jasmine and Ruby did the same. Their roars echoed around the mountains. Wow, that sounds good, said Noah. Come and join us, Brandon. But Brandon was annoyed. Stop, he shouted. You're doing it all wrong. The other three dragons stopped roaring. You're being a bit bossy, said Ruby. Well, that's because I know best, said Brandon. He stuck out his chest, spread out his wings. Listen to me. His friends listened for a bit, but Brandon wouldn't let them join in. Soon they left him to practice by himself. When Brandon finished roaring, he sat down on a rock. The forest was quiet. He was alone. He wondered what the others were doing. Then he noticed smoke in the sky above the trees. The smoke made different shapes. Butterfly, a boat, and a banana. Brandon followed the smoke shapes. When he reached the clearing, he saw his three friends. They were practicing their fire breathing without him. Stop! He shouted, hurrying towards them. You're doing it all wrong. You're blowing out too much fire. Watch me. The other dragons looked at each other. We wanted to practice by ourselves, said Noah. You're always telling us what to do, complained Jasmine. You're so bossy, added Ruby. Oh, said Brandon. Ruby was right. He'd wanted them to do everything his way. I'm sorry I was bossy, he said. Jasmine is really good at flying. Noah is great at roaring, and Ruby is fantastic at fire breathing. You don't need me to tell you what to do. Ruby looked thoughtful for a minute. Then she grinned at Brandon. Of course we need you, she cried. I've just had a brilliant idea. The next day dawned bright and sunny. Everyone gathered for the Dragon Skills contest. The prizes for flying, roaring, and fire breathing stood gleaming on a table. Brandon felt nervous and excited. Are you ready? Whispered Ruby. Brandon nodded and held up a flag. Ready, steady, go! He yelled in his biggest, bossiest voice. Whoosh! And this time, his friends did exactly what he told them. The end.